Hello again. As I said in the last video, speaking fluently and feeling confident when you communicate is a process that doesn't happen overnight. When I first came to live in Spain, I didn't speak any Spanish. So I took a course in a language school, and for many months I was much too nervous to speak in Spanish outside of the class. It was really hard for me. Just understanding what people said to me in Spanish was incredibly difficult in the beginning. It sounded to me like one big chunk, one big piece of language, and I couldn't identify individual words. It went so fast. With time, I did start to get used to hearing Spanish, and I did start to identify individual words, some individual words, and I could more or less understand what people were saying, but I couldn't speak. I couldn't reply. I didn't have the ability to answer when someone asked me a question, even though I understood the question. People just didn't understand me in the beginning. I remember one day I went for breakfast in a cafe and I asked for a coffee with milk and a chocolate croissant. And the waiter brought me a black coffee, a plain croissant, and a glass of hot chocolate. And I was so embarrassed that I didn't say anything. I just said, "Thank you very much, gracias." And I started to have my breakfast because I didn't have the language and the ability to speak and explain the mistake. And also at the time, I remember I used to pay with big banknotes like 20 euros or 50 euros because I couldn't understand the numbers. I couldn't understand the prices in Spanish, and it was easier for me to give a big banknote and just get the change than to try to understand and clarify exactly how much I had to pay. I was too embarrassed to do that. And then one day something changed. I found a cafe with a really friendly waiter who had the patience to listen to me and understand what I was saying to him. So I began to go regularly to this cafe for breakfast and speak to this friendly waiter. And over time, my very bad, broken Spanish became better and gradually more fluent. And with that came the confidence for me to look for more opportunities to speak. So I started to practice my Spanish in shops, asking for things, in cafes. I stopped people in the street and asked for directions. I spoke to people on public transport, and I had the confidence to initiate and begin conversations with Spanish speakers in restaurants and bars. And over time, I met more Spanish people and formed relationships and made some lovely Spanish friends who I'm still in touch with today. So how can that help you? And you may even be in a situation that's very different. You may be living in a country where you don't have English speakers around you who you can practice with. So what can you do to actively improve your speaking? Well, the first thing you can do is active listening. Now that's not just listening to anything and letting the English flow over your head. That's listening in a proactive way. You need to listen to films, TV series, videos on YouTube, podcasts, and notice how native speakers are using grammar, vocabulary, word stress and sentence stress and intonation. Notice how they're using the language. How are native speakers asking questions? How are they answering? How are they using intonation? What expressions are they using? You need to focus on the things you like and then use them and practice them yourself. Keep repeating them over and over. And the next step is for you to practice your speaking, because we know that practice makes perfect. So you need to go and try to find somewhere in your area where native speakers are meeting, or where there's a language exchange so that you can practice with people on a regular basis. And if there isn't one in your area, start one yourself. I'm sure there are people in your area who are also interested in practicing English. And also go online. Maybe there are Facebook groups you can join. I know of a few, and become part of an online community where you can practice English together with other language learners. So you need to do what I did in the beginning, and that is find a space where you feel comfortable and then start to practice your English on a regular basis. In the next video, I'll tell you how my conversation course can help you improve your fluency and your confidence when you're communicating in English and get you on the road to effective communication. So I'll speak to you in the next video.